Hi, welcome on to Arsenal Fan TV, and this is the aftermath. Well, what can I say? Incredible result by Arsenal at the weekend. Leicester City 2, Arsenal 5. And before we went into this game, there were a lot of people out there saying that this is the game where Arsenal are going to slip up. Leicester, of course, had an unbeaten record before this game. They've been flying high. Mahrez has been tearing everybody up. Vardy's been tearing everybody up. It was a game that a lot of people were looking at and saying, this is the banana skin. This is the game where Arsenal are going to slip up. But just before we went into the Leicester game, that great win over Tottenham at White Hart Lane definitely lifted the spirits. And you could see it with the team. Even though we went 1-0 down to Leicester, I was standing there and I was thinking, I'm not panicking yet, because I just get the feeling that we're going to be all right today. And we really came to the party. Theo Walcott, absolutely electric up front. His pace troubled Leicester City all day long. And then the little man from Chile, back to form with a fantastic hat-trick by Alexis Sanchez. And just all round, right around the pitch, great performances. Ozil, great performance, good assists. Cazorla, same thing. You know, I thought Ramsey was all right. The defenders, couple of shaky moments. I was a bit disappointed that they let Leicester get that second goal. It looked a bit tired towards the end. But in general, I thought Nacho Monreal, absolutely magnificent during the game. Bellerin making some good runs. And it was just a great performance by the team. And just really sort of lifts the spirits. And then when you saw all the other results that happened as well at the weekend, Manchester City losing, even though it was to Spurs, but Manchester City losing, Chelsea only drawing at Newcastle, you looked at it and you said to yourself, well, you know what? We're back in this. You know, a couple of weeks ago, you was thinking to yourself, nah, no chance. But you looked at it and you said, we're back in this. You know, we're back in this. We're 3 points behind Manchester United, who are top of the league. We're playing them this week. We are definitely back in the race for the title. And it was a fantastic result away there at Leicester. Let's see what you guys have had to say about it. I'm sure you guys are all infused as well. Peter Cushman says, we can contend for the title. Alexis is back. Walcott taking criticism well and proving that he can hold the ball up. Great game. Of course, Theo Walcott playing as a striker where he's been wanting to be playing, and I thought he'd done a fantastic job. If he plays like that week in, week out, he's going to pose so much problems for defences throughout this season. At Tony Dose 78 said, I'm cautiously optimistic. Great win at Leicester. Boys showing character and ability to adjust to the team changes, and consistency is the key. He's absolutely spot on there. We've got to keep the consistency. But so far, you know, apart from the Chelsea result when we were playing against 12 men, right, we've been playing really, really well away from home. Ryan AFTV says, we're not contenders unless we beat Manchester United and stay within 3 points of the top by Christmas. That Man United game's a big game. Again, it's a bit like with the Chelsea game where we've just had such bad form against Manchester United in recent times. However, we can point to the fact that we did beat them away from home in the FA Cup last season, so there's no reason why we can't take them out again. Aaron John says, brilliant game, Alexis for president. Talk about getting a bit carried away. It's all good, you can get carried away today. And he said, looking forward to Lecoq and Gabriel, bring on Manchester United. We forget that. Coquelin wasn't playing, one of our key players wasn't even playing in the game. I thought Arteta again played really, really well. Another guy that gets a lot of criticism from Arsenal fans, but stepped up to the plate. And again, him and Monreal sort of in combination, they snuffed out Mahrez, who was the dangerous player for Leicester. Mr. DT, my good friend DT, he says, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Theo and Alexis were excellent. So too was Monreal. He said, but Ramsey needs dropping and we need Coquelin and Gabriel to return. I didn't think that Ramsey had that bad a game on Saturday. I thought Ramsey was okay. Listen, a lot of people complain about Ramsey playing on the right-hand side, and to me, they are. Yeah, I understand that. We do lose a lot when he plays on the right because he's not a winger. He comes inside a lot, but I can see why Wenger does it, and I've said this before. Because when Oxlade-Chamberlain's playing out there on the right, going forward, fantastic. But he switches off too much. You saw it again with the second goal. Where was he? Defensive duties are just as important. And that's one thing that Ox has got to get to his game. And I just think that at the moment, Wenger doesn't trust him in certain games. And that's why he's playing Ramsey on that right-hand side. It would be better to have the Ox in there for balance, for what he brings going forward, but I think that is why Ramsey is having to play that position, a position that I don't think he likes playing, but at the moment, I thought on Saturday he did all right in that position. Adam Beard says, until we go on a significant run, we can't class ourselves as contenders. It's crucial that we beat Man United for a start. John Tania says, depends on the injuries if we are title contenders. With Coquelin, Koscielny and key players out, it's unlikely. If not, who knows? And he said Wilshere and Welbeck to return as well. Andrew M says the same problems are there from last season. It would take other teams to have to be poor this season for us to win the title. Well, I'll tell you what, that might happen. Because there's a lot of teams. Look at Manchester City. Who would have called that? Their last two games, beaten at home by West Ham, beaten by Tottenham, you would never, ever have called that. There's going to be, as I said, the standard. Well, you know what? Maybe I need to give credit to some of the other teams. Maybe it's not the standard of the top teams. Maybe it's the standard of the so-called lesser teams has improved so much that if you go into these games and you're not at 100%, you will get beat. Look at West Ham. You know, look how they took us apart. Look how they took Manchester City apart, you know, beat them, you know, beat Liverpool. It's not a fluke. You can't win all three of those and it's a fluke. They're doing something, and that's what I'm saying. The standard has been raised right across the board. So if you're not on it every single game, you're going to get done. And finally here from Stephen Belsey, he says, good result from Arsenal, but there's still cracks in the defence. Vardy made us look silly. It needs to be improved. And at Vardy, he did play very, very well at the weekend. But as I said, fantastic victory. We now go into two crucial games. Olympiacos at home in the Champions League. Must-win game after that terrible result against Zagreb, where basically Arsene Wenger, why did he rest all the players? But it's history now. We've got to put that right against Olympiacos. We need to win our home games in the Champions League. And then I'm glad that it's on a Tuesday. We get a nice little rest before we go up against Manchester United on the Sunday. That is a massive game, just before we go into the international break. If we can win that game and go into the international break like joint top of the league and having a dispatch with Manchester United, things all of a sudden will really, really start to look up at Arsenal. Thanks for watching the Aftermath. Don't forget to leave your comments below. Don't forget you can check out our shop for all the latest gear. Get this one. It was Invincibles week last week. That's what I'm representing. And thanks for watching Arsenal Fan TV. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's just hope we can do the Manx on Sunday.